Alright, summer is here, finally. So we're going to be taking these tracks off this truck and put some tires on it. I guess more of a test kind of a thing, trying to see if we pick up more wheel speed. I know with the tracks it is extremely slow, and it'd be nice if it was faster, but they're saying if you get too fast with them, the tracks will come off or something like that as well. In the kit with this, or the ready to run, they did include that tool right there. And if you don't have that, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to take them off. It might be some special socket, but you need that tool. I got the ready to run version here with the tracks on it and tires included. But you simply just throw that guy in there around that nut and unscrew it. It wasn't on too tight, so I mean, if you don't have it, you might be able to use the pliers to get loose. And yeah, just twist it a couple times, take it off, whatnot. Throw on some extra light here. I'm not sure too at that time if it was dim or not, but just had it available, so why not? After the nut was off, move the body out of the way, and inside the tracks, there's another nut, basically for the wheel, where the wheel would go on, or the wheel nut is buried way down in there. And when doing this, it's a very simple process, but I thought, oh no, this is a horrible process. This is going long. I don't like this. You'll see here, I spent time and lots of time on this. Yeah. I'll just let it go here real quick. Just a normal wrench I use here to get that nut off, but you're going to see, like I said, I'm constantly turning. Nothing happens. Ended up going to get even the portals off here of this inside there, and still didn't come off. And what ended up happening was my little red wrench you seen there a second ago. The part of it goes back into the handle. It's all, I don't know if you want to say smooth around, that came loose. So as I was trying to untighten the nut inside where the wheel, the nut, wheel nut, or what you want to call it, the tool itself was not tight, and I just thought the nut on the wheel nut was like getting stripped. It's like, oh no, what do I do here? I took the portals off, I took the gears out. Not the gears out, but I disassembled that side almost completely here, and still didn't come out. It's like, I don't want to put too much more money into this, at least just this part. I don't want to order more parts. I was looking around, and as I was turning one time, I looked at it like, hey, wait a minute. Pulled it off, grabbed it was a 2mm hex real quick. I tightened that up, and sure enough, it wasn't the nut. It was the tool. So I guess one big thing too is when you guys are doing this, always invest in quality tools. I'm not sure how much this thing cost. I got it free from somebody. I'm not sure who. But it would have been nice if there was more of a kind of a hex thing that went in there that held it in place so it wouldn't slip. You see my yellow tool there a second ago. I showed you like a 1.5mm hex on there, but in the end of it where it goes into the tool, it's kind of like a square or more of a hex kind of thing too, just for that purpose. As when it's in there, it will not slip. It will be always locked. So that was nice. But after doing this, messing with this guy, I ended up taking that, you see that shock there. You gotta get the track off, you get the nut off, and you gotta get that shock off. That shock is held on by 2 screws. I would have showed it to you. Somehow I lost a clip into the videos, but it's very simple. You'll see right where it goes. At first I thought it was 4 screws, but the 2 bottom ones actually do not tie that shock into place. You'll be pulling off the shock in a little piece of plastic. Fairly easy. Once you got the 2 upper screws of that plastic out, just gonna give it a little push. With the front, the track was already off, but the rear, I found the easiest way to get at it was to remove the tracks on both sides, or at least remove the right side to get access to the left side. Otherwise, I had no room to get into the back of it and unscrew it. So maybe make sure the tracks come off and unbolt the shock there from the track. But from my point of perspective, I definitely went ahead and bolted that shock back onto that track so I wouldn't lose it. a lot. But yeah, we're still going at it here. Still working. I'm like, what the heck? Freaking out. I'm just not understanding what's going on here. And I was just, unreal. How do you say it? Felt relieved when I found this was a tool, but felt also stupid because I sped this video up. So it probably took me a good 30 minutes just messing around there. Maybe 40 minutes. It was some time. It was a lot of time. More time than what's needed. But with the Trax off as well, which I didn't notice after a while, after doing this, I should have showed right at the beginning, is in the bag to the left over there, right by my phone, there is another pinion gear in there. I think there's 11 in there now, but it's either 13 or 16. I think it's 16 they supplied. So they say when putting tires on for more wheel speed, put the 16th tooth pinion in. And like again, like I said, the video was cut off. I'm not sure if I have it in video, but if it is, I'll have it down in the description. I'll put it in. But for pinions and older, let's say like your land RC race models, you always had to do that gear mesh kind of a thing. Yeah, can't get too tight, can't get too loose. And after pulling the motor out of this, I thought, because the motor comes straight up and down, it's not like side to side in normal cars. I was like, how am I going to do this gear mesh? But what's awesome is, on these trucks, is there's numbers on the motor plate. And then the piece of paper says if you use this pinion, this is like, you want to use H or whatever. So it's almost stupid proof for that. So you just pull a couple screws off, match that up, and just attach, and it works. But we'll see if we got a video. If it is, check the description. If there's a link down there, there'll be a video for that. But that's basically with this. The Trax was pretty simple. Once you figure out your parts or your tools that aren't broke or whatnot. Also, with the Trax too, in the wintertime, I'm going to take these apart and clean them here in time. Maybe another video will be linked to the description too ahead in the future. But the snow, once it gets inside the Trax, sometimes it clunks up a little bit or it gets wet. The Trax starts slipping a little bit. What I think might work, I'm not sure, I'll definitely try, is using RC Race Tire Compound. What is it called? I had a thing around here, but basically what they use for like on-road cars and off-road cars, but on turf settings for more traction. It's kind of like a sticky thing. I was going to try to spray that inside the Trax and see if that helps adhere to it better, especially in the water outside too. When I was messing with it the other day with the Trax, it was kind of slipping here and there, and I'll try to put another video of that as well. So I'm not sure where that quite is. See if I can find it. But anyways, we'll get this done here and show you a picture of the Trax off. I'll speed this up here real quick. Also, too, guys, I would like to note here, I was messing with the portal down there. When I was putting it back together, after I had it too, I noticed the screws kept, I mean, they get tight, snug, but you always want to get to that filling where you, really tight. And I just heard, even with axle kits, you don't want to over tighten them, so be very careful of that when putting the portals back on, not to over tighten the screws on there, otherwise they will strip. And like me, I thought I was going to have to buy a whole new portal set up there, but after seeing the tool, I was lucked out. So make sure you watch what you're doing with those, not to strip them out. Maybe not even use a power driver, or use a power driver just to get them in, but when you're snugging them up, use a hand tool. But like I said, here's a photo of them with the Trax off, and they're kind of dirty. Gotta clean them, but as we're cleaning them too, let's take the bearings out for another video hopefully, and then use that compound. I'd have to get an idea of what it is. Also, you can see here too, the tracks are stupid proof. They have where they're located, like left rear, right rear, front rear, or whatnot. So you'll never get them mixed up in what direction they go.